COPE report on the central bank bond issue passed with a majority vote. UNP to produce a separate report. TNA issues a statement on the death of 2 youth in Jaffna. President launches the national tree planting program. Tensions between the fishing community in Kalpitia. STF called in to control the situation. Minister Sajith Premadasa responds to the former president.
හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුමනි ඔබතුමා බය වෙන්න එපා මේ රස්සා දෙන්නේ මේ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේම ජනතාවටයි මේ රස්සා දීම තුලින් ඔබට තර්ජනයක් ඇති වෙනවා නම් ඒකට මට කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ.
Enjoining order on the film. Silence in the courts lifted.
A very good evening to you. You're watching Primetime News on News First. I'm Chaturang Hapawarachi.
And I'm Rahna Farooq. Let's start off with a look at your top story for tonight. The national program to plant 1 billion Gliricidia or Guinea saplings, as it's locally known, to mark a national tree planting day got underway in Trincomalee under the aegis of President Maithripala Sirisena.
The president marked the opening of the program by planting a karuala, also known as ebony sapling, in the Kantale Forest Reserve. In line with this, school students, the police, the 3 armed forces as well as the Civil Defence Force participated in a program to plant 2,000 saplings across 2 hectares. The president also engaged in discussion with the students and inquired into the shortcomings at their schools. The president then moved to the national tree planting program and addressed the importance of protecting the environment.
At this moment, there are hundreds of thousands who are facing a serious issue due to the inability to access clean drinking water. The arid weather not only affected humans, but it also seriously affected the flora and fauna of this country. Therefore, environmental and forest conservation is important. The tree planting program will not be limited to the month of October. This is happening all over the world. If the environmental destruction continues, the children and the entire population will have to face serious challenges on surviving. Therefore, it is the responsibility and duty of all to protect the environment.
Foundation stone for a technological laboratory at the Mihigajadura Mahavidyalaya in Hambantota was laid today under the auspices of Minister Sajith Premadasa.
30 million rupees of funds from the Ministry of Education have been allocated to establish a new technological laboratory in Hambantota.
හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුමනි
Mr. Former President, do not worry, do not be afraid. These jobs are being provided to the people of this district. I cannot help you feel threatened by these people receiving employment opportunities. It is shameful for me to say that even though you have connections with the Mihigajadura school, you are unable to carry out a large-scale development project for the school, even after serving office as president for 2 terms. The former president was unable to transform this school to become a beacon of light in this area. But I clearly say this. As the son of a former president, Sajith Premadasa vows to transform the Mihigajadura school to become an elite school in the area. This is a promise I make to you.
On to one of our headline-making stories. The report presented by the chairman of the Committee on Public Enterprises, or COPE, was approved with a majority of votes today. However, the United National Party members of the COPE committee had voiced their objection against the report and had reached a decision to submit 1 or more reports in this regard as well. Member of COPE MP Bimal Ratnayaka expressed the following views to News First.
We began to discuss the report page by page yesterday. We faced a difficult situation because there were varying opinions on whether fraud took place or not. The situation was the same today. 14 out of the 26 members of COPE that attended today's meeting agreed with the second draft report, which was submitted by the chairman and the secretary. They agreed on the investigation into the fraud and the recommendations provided. There was also a group of MPs that stated that there should be amendments to the report. Based on the recommendations of these MPs, the committee was forced to come to a realization that there could be separate reports prepared on the same investigation. So there most likely will be 2 reports submitted by the 2 groups of MPs on the bond scam. The report or reports of COPE on this bond scam will be submitted to Parliament within this month.
Staying on the same subject, political representatives reacted to the manner in which the United National Party members of COPE behaved during the committee meeting today.
කල්තියා සැලසුම් කරලා එක්කත් ජාතික පක්ෂය බැඳුම් කර වංචාවේ
The UNP began executing a well-planned operation to safeguard the perpetrators of the bond scam. Even though a majority of the members of COPE approved this report, the UNP members of COPE are preparing to submit an alternative report. We are saddened and deeply disgusted by this move. They came to catch thieves and those who commit fraud, not to protect them. What are they doing today? They have joined forces with the thieves and are engaging in acts of fraud at an amazing speed. This all happens in a backdrop where the losses caused due to the bond scam continue to multiply. We can see that a fraud has been committed. The profits earned by the company owned by the former governor's son-in-law also provide evidence to support this. The question we have to ask is, where does this money go to? Are they trying to cover up the arrears of 18 years? Ministers engage in foreign tours at the expense of Arjuna Aloysius. The decision reached by COPE will go down in history as a decision against defrauding public funds. So we call on the President to stop the effort to scuttle this report, bring the perpetrators before the law, and also to ensure that the money they obtained is returned to the people. Don't allow this corruption to continue. Please interfere in this matter.
ඉඩ දෙන්න කරගෙන යන ඉඩ දෙන්න එපා. මේක නවත්තන්න වහම මැදිහත් වෙන්න කෙනෙල්ලීමත් අපි ජනාධිපතිතුමාගෙන් කරමු.
අපට ආරංචි ලැබෙනවා විවාදය කරන දිනේදී
We are receiving reports that there is an effort to ensure that this report does not make to the parliament from within COPE itself. The 25th of October has been set aside to debate the COPE committee report on the central bank bond scam. This was the decision reached at the party leaders meeting. Who do these party leaders represent? They represent the entire nation. That is why they have been given the power to plan the parliamentary agendas. If there are factions who don't allow this agenda to be implemented, then they cannot be representatives of the public.
ඒගොල්ලෝ ජනතාව නියෝජනය කරගෙන වෙන්න බෑ.
Fishermen are engaging in a protest at the Kuriangpitia junction in Kalpitia for a second successive day today. 3 people who have been injured during the protest have been admitted to the Kalpitia hospital. The police special task force was also called in to control the situation.
Small-scale fishermen who carry out their fishing activities legally engaged in a protest in this manner against illegal fishing methods this morning. Our correspondent said that fishermen from a number of areas in Kalpitia, including the Kandakkuliya, Kudava and Hathalavilla areas, were engaged in the protest. He added that a tense situation arose when another group of fishermen arrived at the location where the protest was being held. The police special task force was called in to control the situation, and the Kalpitia Puttalama road was closed from the Kuriangpitia junction as a result of the incident.
The road needs to open. If the road is not opened, I will show you how it will be opened.
The police was able to control the crowd after the Puttala Magistrates Court ordered the people to clear the road.
When this court order was delivered to us, I asked the officials whether it wouldn't be better if they gave us news that these 55 permits have been cancelled. When I said this, they informed the OIC about it. The OIC has gone and asked the Honourable Judge. The judge has said that these will be cancelled on the 3rd of next month. You all need to respect the law of the country as citizens. You need to believe that the judiciary has stepped in to settle your problem. Based on that belief, I ask you to disperse from the location.
Fishermen are still engaging in their protest on the other side of the road. Meanwhile, a group of small-scale fishermen who engage in their activities legally participated in a discussion at the community hall of the Nigamba Fisheries village upon the invitation of the Minister of Fisheries, Mahinda Amadavira. The minister, however, left the location soon afterwards, stating that the amount of people that had gathered was insufficient. There are over 7 boats. You have no proper control over this. The recent catch from a single boat was 50,000 kilograms. Can one boat alone do that?
Our stance is that the regular fishermen must be protected while also protecting the marine resources. I can only do that while working inside the existing legal framework. I re-emphasize that nothing was achieved through closing the road. It only caused damages. You cannot solve the problems of the people by obstructing the roads. If there are issues in the rules and regulations, we must follow a process that will see a change in them. They reached a certain level in the agreement. They call for another discussion. I am not saying that their problem was completely solved.
Opposition leader R. Sambandhan has made a request to President Maithripala Sirisena to expedite investigations into the death of 2 youth that took place in Jaffna at midnight yesterday.
A communique released by the Tamil National Alliance states that the president had expressed his condolences to the opposition leader when the duo participated at an event held in Trincomalee today. The communique states that while a special police team has been deployed to Jaffna on the instructions of the president, the police officers who are suspected to be responsible for the deaths have already been arrested. Meanwhile, the TNA requests the IGP to conduct a fair and just investigation into the deaths. Defence Secretary Karunasena Hettiarachchi commented on the incident at an event held in Anuradhapura today.
The post-mortem examination was conducted today. However, a court verdict has not been issued as yet. This does not come under the Ministry of Defence. This should be handled by the Department of Police. The Ministry of Defence will assist the Department of Police if a request is made to do so.
Meanwhile, issuing a statement, the Government Information Department says that the Criminal Investigations Department has commenced investigations into the deaths of the 2 university students. When inquired by News First, the Assistant Director of the Jaffna Teaching Hospital said that the 2 bodies have been handed over to their relatives.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe attended a special discussion with the members of the Committee of Foreign Affairs of the European Parliament during his visit to Brussels.
Chair of the Committee on Foreign Affairs of the European Parliament, Elmar Brok, engaged in discussions with the Prime Minister on the future of SAARC, reconciliation in Sri Lanka, economic development, eradication of poverty and good governance. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe also called on Prime Minister of Malta, Joseph Muscat, who is tipped to be the next President of the European Union. The Maltese Prime Minister had assured Prime Minister Wickremesinghe on his complete support to regain the GSP Plus concession. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and the Lankan delegation also met with the business community in Brussels. The business community had expressed their full support to help Sri Lanka regain the GSP Plus concession and to improve investments in Sri Lanka.
In news from the courts today, the Colombo District Court today lifted the enjoining order placed on the Usaviya Nihandai or Silence in the Courts movie directed by Prasanna Vithanage. The case was taken up today before Colombo District Court Judge M.U. Gunawardena.
Attorneys representing 7 persons, including respondent Prasanna Vithanage, presented facts to court for 2 hours. Taking the facts into consideration, the judge decided to lift the enjoining order. Deputy Solicitor General Sumati Dharmawardana, appearing in court on behalf of the National Film Corporation, which was listed as a 9th respondent in the case, pointed out that the Censor Board of Sri Lanka had granted permission to screen the film at cinemas. The enjoining order was first issued on the 5th of October after a lawsuit was filed by former judge Lenin Ratnayaka.
I consider this as a moment where the freedom of expression was established. This is also a moment where the right to information was also affirmed by courts. The judiciary has paved the way for the people to determine what this film is all about. The ruling affirms the freedom of expression. Most importantly, this case was filed based on a judicial incident. We can now assume that we live in a country where there are unbiased justices in the judicial system. Through the lifting of this enjoining order, there will be more trust on the law and the judiciary.
Artists do not need to be censored anymore. Artists can censor themselves. If a creation that will awaken the people is being censored, then that is an act of betrayal. We were awarded a ruling. This is a victory for the artist.
The Censor Board of Sri Lanka has the right to grant or deny permission to screen a film. After the Censor Board grants permission, if there is some injustice that takes place, then they could make an appeal to the subject minister. If there is a group that is not satisfied with that, they can make an appeal with the Court of Appeal and obtain a writ order in accordance with the Constitution. I do not believe that it is wise to stifle the artists by censoring such creations on minor incidents at a time when a clear process has been followed.
News First, which keeps its promises and fulfills the people's promises, visited the Galloa settlement today.
Yes, last night on our primetime news bulletin, we made a promise to the people of Galloa that the Gamma the 100-day initiative will look into their issue and provide a solution.
We received tragic news upon our arrival at the village this morning. It has become a common sight in the area to see houses that were constructed to ensure the safety of its residents being destroyed like mere toys. The lone elephant that was terrorizing the area for days destroyed this house today, taking away their only assets, the harvested paddy.
We are farmers. We have no one to tell this to. There are many elephant fences across other areas. This area has none.
The tussle with wild elephants has become a regular activity in the lives of these people, as the fence that was set up to protect them had malfunctioned. Not a single house has been spared by the wild elephants in this village. Similarly, not a single tree, too, had been spared. Locals say that a herd of 45 elephants from the Buddhagala Forest Reserve encroach onto the village. These elephants spend the day in the bush near the village and charge into the village at night. Locals also say that the wild elephants favor paddy and salt for consumption. Around 2,500 villagers spend day and night experiencing the scrimmage between life and death. A life lost cannot be brought back, but it leaves behind sorrow and pain. 2 elephants arrived. One remained over there. One was here at the time when we arrived. I yelled in a bid to chase it away, but I failed. Then I yelled again, calling for help. After the elephant had left, I saw my husband lying lifeless on the ground. These locals requested the government the 100 days program to provide them with a solution to the aggravating issue.
I have seen how the Gamma program visits other areas and sets up elephant fences. I also requested the Gamma program to provide us with a similar solution.
The plight of these people will soon be over. Earlier today, the News First Gamma team reached a decision to provide this village with an elephant fence as soon as possible in a bid to provide relief to these people. The announcement was made after the News First Gamma 100-day team led by Inoka Ushani reached the village in Galloa and inspected the area today.
The main hall at the Yaya 26 Mahasen Primary School and Sunday School in Athanakadavala, Polonnaruwa was declared open under the Gammadda 100-day initiative.
The Gammadda 100-day initiative. With the people, for the people.
If the uncles at Sirasa did not see our plight and if the venerable clergy did not intervene, all that we would have been left with is the dilapidated hall.
This building, which provides shelter for nearly 300 students of the Mahasen Primary School, has been in a dilapidated condition for a long period of time.
The main hall of our school, where Sunday school activities are also conducted, was in a dilapidated condition. The roof was in disrepair. This ramshackle building has been renovated in a very beautiful manner. We thank the people at the Sirasa Media Network.
Assistance for the renovation of this building was provided by the Chief Incumbents Association of Gampaha.
We did not construct this hall as a favour for the government. It was a favour we did for the people of this village. Going beyond the call of duty of providing news, this social service done by the Sirasa Media Network is invaluable.
Parallelly, a PA system as well as a water filter system that the school was in need of was gifted today. In addition, a tree planting campaign as well as the gifting of books for the school library took place today.
The Gammadda 100-day initiative. With the people, for the people.
And in sports news, parents and students alike were in discomfort at a tournament organized by the school's Rugby Football Association. The Minister of Education says that firm action will be taken against the association.
The second stage of the Under-18 rugby tournament was scheduled to kick off at the Anand College grounds in Rajagiriya. Although the parents and their children had arrived at the grounds as per the notice of the school's Rugby Football Association, the officials and referees of the game had not arrived.
The match was scheduled to kick off at 9. It still hasn't begun. It's already past 2 p.m. We have come from afar. The Rugby Football Association wastes our time. They don't inform us of anything, nor does the sports minister. We are highly inconvenienced. We are disappointed that a national level event was organized in such a manner. They say that the Minister of Sports has not given them permission, so the referees go away.
Sports first contacted the tournament secretary in this regard.
The secretary informed us that the games due to be held today will be rescheduled for tomorrow, so the matches will be held accordingly, that's all. There is no problem because the matches will be played tomorrow. They have been provided with lodging.
The secretary of the Rugby Association expressed the following views in this regard.
The main problem was with regard to the referees on the match. We previously informed the Referees Association on legally getting down referees for the matches. But last night we were informed that the Parent Association had taken steps not to grant us the referees we need. We actually obtained permission from the Committee of the Education Ministry. They had not legally informed us of their decision. So we decided to postpone the matches because complications could arise when conducting the matches without proper referees.
However, Special Sports Consultant of the Sports Ministry, Sunil Jayavira, said that the ministry had not received a request for permission on the tournament.
And with that, we wrap up Primetime News. For the News First team, I'm Rahna Farooq.
I'm Saturanga Pawalati. Take care and good night.